वल्लभम राम नारायणं जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं, कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं, तुम मीरा की जैसे भुलाते नहीं, तुम मीरा की जैसे भुलाते नहीं। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम, अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम राम नारायणं जानकी वल्लभम, राम नारायणं जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार, वरनो रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक पल चार। बुद्धहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु ही हरहु कलेश विकार। जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान, जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान, जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान, जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीसति लोक उजागर, रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी, कंचन वरण विराज सुवेशा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा, हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कान्हे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन, विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिवे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे सिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम्हरो यश गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा, नारद शारद सहित अहीसा। यम को वेद दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि को वेद कहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाए राजपर दीना। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्त्र योजन पर पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन पल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाहि, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरहि, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करे। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शतवार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा, कोई सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजनाथ हृदय महादेवा। पवन तनय संकट हरणम, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। जय वीर हनुमान जनेय हनुमान, जय वीर हनुमान जनेय हनुमान, जय वीर हनुमान जनेय हनुमान, जय वीर हनुमान जनेय हनुमान। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीसति लोक उजागर। रामदूत तुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरण विराज सुवेशा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ ब्रज और ध्वजा विराजे, May we all please take our seats. My dear devotees, in the interest of time, to the ones who have already seen the body, let us all please give a chance to the others who would like to see the body as well before the ceremony starts. सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहार, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे, लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए, रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि समभाई, सहस बदन तुम्हरो यश गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा, नारद शारद सहित सायं को वेद दिक्पाल जहात, कवि को विद कही सके कहात, तुम उपकार सुग्रीव कीना, राम मिलाए राजपद दीना। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, युग सहस्त्र योजन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु, प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माहि, चले दिलांग गए अचरज नाहि, दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते, राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न क्या बिनु पैसारे, सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, आपन तेज संहारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाथ के काबे, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे, नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा, संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, इनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे, चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुवरपुर जाहि, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई, और देवता चित्त न धरहि, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करहि, संकट कथे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलवीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाहि, जो शत बार पाठ करे, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होय, जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा, जय वीर हनुमान जन हनुमान, मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। चीर की छाती बोले अपनी, चीर की छाती बोले अपनी, पवन पुत्र हनुमान, बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। सीता हरण क्या रावण ने प्रभु जी थे अगुलाए, हनुमान ने सीता जी का प्रभु संदेश सुनाए। हनुमान जी कर गया है, हनुमान जी कर गया है, प्रभु जी ते गुणगान, बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। लगी लक्ष्मण जी को शक्ति देख प्रभु घबराए, बोर से पहले हनुमान जी धौलागिरी ले आए। उठ बैठे लक्ष्य मंजिले कर, उठ बैठे लक्ष्य मंजिले कर, श्री राम का नाम, बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। वानर सेना देख के रावण की सेना घबराए, पलक झपकते हनुमान जी धौलागिरी ले आए। बोले प्रभु की साथ मिटा कर, बोले प्रभु की साथ मिटा कर, रावण का अभिमान, बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। चीर की छाती बोले अपनी, चीर की छाती बोले अपनी, पवन पुत्र हनुमान, बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान। मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे मन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम, मेरे तन में बसे है राम। राम नाम जब लीजे प्राणी, कोटिक पाप कटे, कोटिक पाप कटे। मेरे मन राम बसे, हे राम, हे राधे श्याम 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 राधे श्याम 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 राम 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 बोलो राम 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 बोलो राम 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 श्याम 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 राधे श्याम 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 राधे श्याम 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 राम 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 बोलो राम 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 श्याम 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 राधे श्याम 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 राम 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 बोलो राम 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 बोलो राम 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 श्याम 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 राधे श्याम 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 राम 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 बोलो राम 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 श्याम 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 राधे श्याम 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 राम 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 बोलो राम 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 श्याम 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 राधे श्याम 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 राधे श्याम 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 राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। कृष्ण हरे श्याम हरे राधा गोविंद हरे मीरा गोपाल हरे कृष्ण हरे श्याम हरे कृष्ण हरे श्याम हरे राधा गोविंद हरे मीरा गोपाल हरे।
Bole Sri Krishna Chandra ki jai. We are about to begin with the antyeshti, the final rites for Shivanand Siewsankar. So this time, I just ask you to place your hands together, close your eyes, and we concentrate upon that form of Sri Krishna Bhagwan. In your minds, Om Sri Krishnaya Namo Namah. Om Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kanchadamardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagat Guru. Preta Atma Shanti, Preta Atma Shanti, Preta Atma Shanti. Bole Sri Krishna Chandra ki jai.
Sitaram, everyone. We'll start with a formal part of the program where we have a few people out of the many that would have chosen to want to say a few words on behalf of Shiva because he impacted so many lives. I am Shiva's sister, Lakshmi, and God give me strength to perform this duty this morning for my brother. I'll first like to welcome Miss Eleanor Baksh, who is our Miss Eleanor, one of our many mommies, one of our many mentors, who had played a great role in Shiva's life. And today we are able to stand strong and we are able to celebrate the life of Shiva as we send him to his other part. Miss Elena.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks, Lakshmi, for your wonderful words and introduction of myself. Certainly, yes, I have been tutor for almost the entire Prisal, taught in the common entrance class for a number of years. But coming to Shiva, from God we come, and to God we go. And that's how life is. Yesterday, the entire world mourned the loss of an international soul, the Queen. Today, we in Prisal mourn the loss of an humble, loving, sweet son of our soil, our Prisal soil, our own prince, Prince Shiva. We feel the same way like the international community felt yesterday. We feel hurt to know that we have missed a wonderful soul like Shiva. Passing near Shiva's business place, it was quite an honor for us as Prisalians to say, that's a boy from Prisal who is owning that business. We felt, we raised our head high to say that. He made us proud. I remembered him from class. That smile that he showed in that jersey that you all are wearing, that naughty little smile That's a smile he showed in class. And I had to talk to him all the time. Shiva, be quiet. Shiva, be quiet. Shiva was lively, full of life. And we wonder, how come a soul, a beautiful soul like Shiva, so full of life, will just go and leave us behind? But that is life. We used to, in fact, I used to look at this family as a special family, as a perfect family. Two beautiful, intelligent young daughters who have done well. Shiva, who is doing great in his business. Parents who are humble, sincere, respectable, honest, both Ramanan and Linda, very nice people. Their 3 children had kids of their own, so they were having fun with all their grandchildren. What more could you want? But change comes. And friends, I want to tell you that in your life, change will come. In each one of us lives, the change will come. And when the change comes, we have to be strong enough to face it. As God says, there is no perfect individual, no perfect family, no perfect anything. So anything could happen to any of us the next hour, the next day, the next week, we don't know. But Shiva has made us proud. Shiva has done well for himself. And for that, we have to honor him. He looks really like a prince. So he lives like a prince. Yesterday I saw when they took the crown out from the queen and they took out all the gadgets that she was wearing and put it aside. So she has to go to the grave without the crown. The crown was just temporary. It was just there for a while. So whatever we have in this world is just temporary. We have to leave everything. I went to see a sick lady the other day who got a stroke. She has a big, beautiful mansion. She said, "Girl, you know, I really have to leave this house and go?" I said, "Yes. We have to leave everything and go. When the time comes, we just have to go." But condolences to the family, to the parents especially. I know to lose a child is no easy thing. It's the most difficult thing. And talking to the girls, their brother was everything to them. But that's how life is. Life is real, a writer said, and life is earnest. And the grave is not its gold. Dust thou art, and to dust thou returnest, was not spoken of the soul. So we come from dust, we go back to dust. Trust no future, no matter however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Act in the living present, heart within and God overhead. May God bless his soul. May he be forgiven for whatever misdeeds that he has done in his life. May the angels guide him to a nice, safe place. And may he find eternal rest and eternal peace. And may the family be comforted. I know the grief. You will feel the grief. The grief is not going to leave you. And I think the Queen said something about grief. The late Queen said, grief is the price you pay for love, which is such a strong statement. And time is the physician to heal that grief. So we hope that through time, your grief will be healed a little bit. It would not go, but it will be there forever. May his soul rest in peace, and thank you for giving me the chance to say a few words. God bless you all.
Thank you, Miss Elena. Shivanand had so many affiliations. So we need to narrow this down a little bit. He took pride in the student alumni of Presentation College. Without further ado, I'll invite Mr. Suraj Mohammed and his alumni reps. They have a presentation for him, and they will bring greetings just for a short while. Yeah?
Officiating pundits, family, friends, well-wishers, good morning to you all. May the peace and blessings of our Creator be upon each and every single one of us. My name is Sirajuddin Mohammed, and I am one of Shiva's close friends. On my left is Dr. Anil Kamta, and he is one of Shiva's closest friends, and his brother. We have been friends with Shiva for a lifetime, 27 to 28 years. And some would say that we are of his best friends. But the truth of it all is that he was everyone's best friend. Today, my dear brothers and sisters, is indeed a very sad day for each and every one of us, all of us who are here, and all of those who wanted to be here, and all of those who are looking on the various platforms. We all mourn together, and we know that his soul will rest in peace with the such support for his family that is shown here today. Shivanand was a model student at Presentation College, Shogunas. He was often described as a mild-mannered, studious, inquisitive young man who always had a joke to tell and to lighten a mood. He was also very dedicated, and he was very religious. And he participated in probably all the sporting activities that Presentation College Shogunas had to offer, especially taking particular interests in long-distance running. Some of the few things that people had to say about him. Dribble, as we affectionately call him, he was always a runner since Form 1 in Presentation. Since the early days of Forms 1 to 4 or thereabouts, he consistently placed in the top 5 in the 5K races. This was something that was very dear to him, and he pushed himself to compete at these events. Perhaps this is why he could not let Debbie Sunday's race pass him by. While at Presentation, he also met his soulmate, Cindy. We could see from these early days that they were a perfect match for each other. After Pres, he pursued business studies in Form 6, and he went on to study business management at the University of the West Indies, followed by working in the pharmaceutical industry till about 2010. In 2014, he realized his dream of having his own food business, Taalcurry. Shiva pulled me aside one day and he told me, and he had a name for me, everybody had their nickname. He would say, Doj. I asked him, what was one of the reasons that you really started his business? And he said it wasn't for money. He said that it was because he loved to bring people together with food. And he told me on a personal level that food, for him, it represented family. It represented togetherness and love. And this was what his parents purported and stood for, togetherness and love. Dribble always went out of his way to help people. When his customers had COVID, he would personally take it upon himself to deliver food and tie it on their gates, on their doors. His spirit was always positive and loving in all his interactions. He was a committed and determined individual. His infatigable generosity was only rivaled by his fierce, infectious smile that would brighten any room and brighten your life. Dribble, you have fought the good fight, my brother. You have finished the race. You will always be remembered and missed. Rest in peace, brother. On behalf of all of the alumni at Presentation College, Shogunas, thank you. May God protect each and every one of us. And as we began in peace, we will end in peace. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd now like to invite Ms. Siewsankar from Presentation College to say just a few words. My apologies, Mrs. Siewsankar.
Overshooting Pundit, family members, friends, well-wishers. I'm the principal of Presentation College, Shogunas. My name is Brian Siewsankar. It's indeed a very sad day today for the entire Presentation family. Circumstances such as these are beyond human comprehension. It forces us to question the actions of Almighty God. We bring into question, why did this have to happen? What did he do to deserve this? I don't think we'll ever have answers to those questions or be able to understand fully. But what we must remember and what we must do is to desist from questioning the workings of our God. This is a time where we have to dig deep into our faith, the tenets of our faith, our religious beliefs, and our trust in God. Shivanand entered Presentation College in 2001. I had the distinct pleasure of teaching him, and as my former student mentioned, he was a very well-reserved young man, well-mannered, and an avid sportsman. He was always willing to participate, to take leadership roles in school, and a good role model to all his classmates and junior students. His passion for Presentation College never stopped. When he graduated, he became very active in the alumni. In fact, that is what brought him to school on that morning on Sunday. And that passion drove him to participate in the 5K. He will always be remembered for his kindness, his love, and his commitment. Our entire Presentation family, very saddened by this, and all I can say is we have to remember his spirit And I can assure you all that our college will stand by his family and provide whatever support in days to come. And just to let you all know, on that morning, when he fell ill, there were 5 doctors, all past students, that jumped into action. And they worked very, very furiously trying to resuscitate him and accompanied him on the ambulance. We had doctors waiting at the health center as well. So the presentation family, we don't neglect or turn our backs on each other. We'll provide that support. We'll look after his young ones, and I assure you all that in days to come, though it might be difficult, we would be here assisting in whatever way we can. I just want to close by saying a short prayer that, in my faith, I believe, it goes like this: eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord. May his soul and the soul of all faithful departed rest in peace. Amen. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Simagal. And I'd like to invite Ms. Ranu Maraj on behalf of Arav School to bring a few words of greetings.
Namaste everyone, Sitaram, Assalamu alaikum, special good morning. This morning is a very difficult one for us at SMVS, as we call our school, Sura Memorial Vedic School, because our friendship with Shiva is completely different from all the previous speakers. When Arav started school in Infant 1, he had a little bit of difficulty transitioning into primary school. And for those of you who know our school, we are a family-oriented school. So we lend that support to Arav, to Shiva and Cindy at all cost. On a lunchtime, even though we were limiting parents on the compound, we would allow Shiva to come in, bring lunch for Arav, make sure that he fed him, routine checks during the day, just to ensure that that transition was a comfortable one for Arav until he finally settled down. But more so, like the previous speakers said, Shiva's disposition was always one that is so calm. His infectious laughter. He had that laugh. From the minute he started laughing, I would want to laugh. And like Cindy said yesterday to me, Shiva opened Taalcurry not as a business, but to feed people. And to my 2 other staff members here, we could attest to that. Our first day of school breakfast, for as far as I could remember, was Shiva would give us breakfast every morning. He said, "Miss, as a staff, you all work so hard." But more so, he would feed me ever so often. He would call, "Hey, Gil, what you have for breakfast or what you have for lunch?" And I would say nothing. And he said, "Okay, that's good." Before I know it, Shiva would send someone with breakfast or lunch for me at the school. And he's always making some crazy jokes or sending me some crazy WhatsApp message, and I'm saying to him, "I'm going to send it to Cindy." He said, "That's okay, don't worry, I already sent it to her, so she knows what I'm telling you." And he was in school a couple weeks ago, and he called me before and he said, "I'm coming for Arav because I have to get to an appointment." So I said, "Okay." And he came, and he was by the gate. He said, "Are you going to open the gate? Because I can't really exactly take Arav over this gate, So it was always a laughter, some silly joke. And for all the years that I've known Shiva, I've never one day seen Shiva angry or vexed. Even when I go into Taalcurry, into the shop, it's always some joke. He's like, I was just like, "Where's Shiva?" He's like, "I'm hearing you all from the back, you'll stay quiet." It's always some fun thing to ensure that he made you smile, and like I say, it's a sad day. When Lakshmi called me this morning and asked me to speak, I'm like, I don't know if I can stand here and do it. But Shiva, I would miss my breakfast. I hope Cindy can make roti just as good. And sending lunch. We, as a family at SMVS, on behalf of my staff, my parent body, my students, we want to express deepest condolences to Auntie, Uncle, Cindy, and we give you all the assurance Arav and Krishika will both be well taken care of. Shiva, rest in peace. God bless. Hope you can continue making nice roti and bodhi and mango takari and all the stuff you give us at SMVS wherever you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maraj. I can't take too long because we're already running very late on time. But Ms. Maraj, I'll tell you a little joke we have. We said Shivanand cooked so much here that now he's going to make kheer. I would say a little bit about Shiva on our own behalf. Jai Shri Krishna. My brother Shivanand Siewsankar was born on the 23rd of October 1982. Lord Krishna decided he had served his time on earth at a mere 39 years of age. Shiva will always be the pride and joy of Ramanand and Linda Siewsankar, a special gift from God, a son who feverishly fulfilled his role with duty and happiness. He will always be your strength, Mommy and Daddy. He was the beloved of Cindy, the father of Arav, the brother of Kazim, Lakshmi, Ramesh, and Adita, and the dearest uncle of Kavir, Kashi, Kalika, and Krishika. To his siblings, Shiva was the innovator. He always believed in growth and development. No task seemed too much for Shivanand. He was a motivator and a master of empowerment. Shiva stood out amongst the many grandchildren of the Siewsankar and the Sigulams family due to his outstanding deeds and qualities. He believed in truth and righteousness, which led to his dynamic work ethic. To Cindy, Shiva will always love you. You were his better half. He took pride calling you his wife, a relationship created from a very young age, culminating to a bond second to none. Cindy, Shiva will continue to work along the path of life, supporting you, encouraging you, and guiding you to fulfill your many roles and responsibilities. To Arav, Dada will always love you. You were his special joy, spoiling you every day more and more. To his favorites, Kavir, Kashi, Kalika, and Krishi, Unks will always be with you all. His jovial self loving you, motivating you, and guiding you to be good individuals. Shiva was truly a gem. He was a humble soul who created relationships among the many, as you previously mentioned. This attribute led to further associations with Swaha International and Swaha Divya Ashram, Dattatreya, National Council for Indian Culture, and Taalcurry, a business founded and developed by himself. For the past few nights, my family have only been hearing how great an individual Shiva was, as he touched the lives of many friends, family, neighbors, in so many positive ways due to his humbleness. Thank you, Lord, for giving us the opportunity to be in the company of such a profound individual, a dynamic son, a great husband, a loving and supportive brother, a loving father, and most of all, a precious, precious uncle. Keep flying high, our angel. Until we meet again, we will always love you, Shiva. And now hand over to Pandit Prakash, who would follow. Thanks.
बोलो श्री महापति महादेव की जय. Just face, please. No, this idea. Please, yeah. Devotees, members of the family, well-wishers, Sitaram, and again on behalf of the family, let me appreciate their sincere thanks and appreciation for you being here today. Today, we may say we are in mourning, but also this ceremony is antim sanskaar. It's twofold. We are here to help Shiva and to do our part as he continues his journey, and also to celebrate his life, as you have heard the previous speaker said. In Hinduism, we believe in continuity, that life doesn't begin with birth, nor does it end with death. Because we believe in reincarnation. We believe in the principle of karma that continues on reincarnation. Now, just quickly, that a body is comprised of many parts. And to give an example, these days we have people's avatar, as I say, the real word is avatar. Avatar on various media that they continue to live on. And in Hinduism, we believe that whilst the physical body may go, the memories, the soul continues its journey. And this here, what we're doing today, and what the family is doing, they ensure that the soul continues its journey onwards, because we believe that the soul continues its journey in many bodies until it attains perfection. Now, Shiva, and people spoke highly of him, and indeed he was a special individual. I knew him when I met him in the early 90s in the temple in Karapichama, Upper Karapichama, Chikland. Shivanand was introduced to me and says by his aunt, Pandit, this is my nephew. From that day onwards, we had a relationship. He became my godchild over these many years. Cindy also is my godchild. And his brother-in-law, who is more like a brother to him, Kazim, also. So we have this close relationship. Now I've seen Shivanand over the years. He's jovial, he makes jokes also, all these sort of things. But I've seen him also angry, because he was a human being. I saw him also frustrated, because he was a human being also. We are human beings. And I recall this thing clearly, I don't know if Cindy does. There was some sort of, I want to use the right word, well, he was thinking seriously about getting married. And there might have been some issues. And he would always consult me in a variety of things. So he said to me, Pandit, what should I do? I said, you have faith in God. God is above all of us. And I want you to go to the temple, Devashram. I want you to sit in front of the murtis, pray sincerely, and ask Divine Father, guide me what I should do. I called him the next day. I said, I don't want to get involved. I want you to be guided by God in that decision. I called him the next day. He said to me, Pandit, that I want to get married to Cindy. And I told him, well, you couldn't make a better choice. You couldn't. And they proceeded to get married. There's a saying in Chinese, yin and yang. Or if you want, in magnetism, opposite poles attract. Whereas Shiva is a lot more outgoing. Cindy is always, more introverted, very quiet, very polite. And I'm not saying she wasn't polite. I'm saying that, people have intrinsic nature, and they made a magnificent match. And the product of that match is really a good son. Arav is doing as it goes on now. So indeed, it will be remiss of me if I don't say a bit of Shiva. And he sort of, as I said, I met him And we started to build a temple in Prizal. And a bit of history. I was told that they were trying to build a temple in Prizal for 140 years at that time, which is way back in the 90s. And somehow it couldn't materialize. So I spoke to Shiva's dad. And when we talk good about children, we have to acknowledge the role the parents play in bringing these sort of children. And both side parents, Cindy's parents, Shiva's parents, are magnificent human beings, devotees of God, committed to the faith, committed to the community, committed to the country. In fact, Ramanand is a winner of the Gallantry Medal of Trinidad and Tobago for gallantry. So we started this. And I can tell you this, building a temple is never easy. And what we did, Ramanand headed it, Shiva and Kazim and a variety of other people worked very hard. But Shiva was very always dynamic. Nothing you could say to him would be difficult to do. And I gave that example last night or the night before, and I will give it again now. When we were building to the 3rd floor to cast it, we had to carry gravel up. Now carrying gravel is pretty heavy, in the bucket. To carry it up to the 3rd floor. I would normally go to the university, and from the university I will come here. And I said, when I came, they said to me, Pandit, people are tired. We can't carry it up. Well, I tell you this, that Shiva and Kazim carried it up, running up. They didn't walk up, they actually ran up. And that was the sort of enthusiasm he had for life, for duty. He was always committed. So whilst we may mourn the fact that he left at 39, and we can ask ourselves the question 1,000 times, why did he die at 39? We would never get an answer. Even if we ask ourselves 1,000,000 times, we wouldn't get an answer. This is the nature of the world. God's way is mysterious. There's a saying, Bhagwan hi janta hai. Only God knows what he does. So, what we should do, in fact, is acknowledge, do what we need to do for him. Acknowledge these great contributions he made. He lived a life that was very full, and that came out clear this evening. So this is what we need to do, keep that legacy onwards as we go forward. So with these few words, I think we want to focus on a bit of prayer for him as he goes forward, and then what we'll do after the prayer, we'll have his wife doing the final sort of worship to him, adoration, because it's the duty of the Hindu wife to so do. She's going to do that. And then followed by his son Arav and these powerful looking young men here who will continue to live his legacy that he lived. So I ask you all now to focus on Bhagwan Krishna, or God in whatever form you may choose. Pray sincerely from the heart that if Shivanand will continue his journey as he goes on, the family would have the strength to continue. Cindy would have the strength to continue this also in this way. Let us pray. Om Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kansachanur Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadguru. Bhagwan Krishna kaha, Ya enang cheti hantaram Paschainam mayate hatam Ubhautau na bijanito Nayang hanti na hanyate न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचि नान्यं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमानी रे शरीरे वेदा विनाशिनं नित्यं य एनं जन्मयवम् कथं स पुरुष पार्थकं घातयति हन्तिकं वासासिं जीर्णी यथा विहाय नवानि गृहति नरो पुराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्ण यन्यानि संयति नवानि देहि नैनं चिन्दन्ति शाश्वनि नयं दहति पावक न चैवं क्लेदयतापो न शोषयति मारुतं Let's put our voices together. Govinda bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. 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 Radha Raman Hari Govinda 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 bolo. Govinda bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Govinda bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. The verses I just chanted came from the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says so, reaffirming what we said, that the soul continues the journey. The body may come and go, as Bhagavan says. The soul takes a body, just as a human being wears on clothes and discards it. So the present form of Shiva may go back when we cremate him today, but the soul continues, his memory continues. And this is put forward in a simple verse by this famous poet, Kabir Das. He says, Aaye so jayenge Raja Rank Fakir, Ek Singhasan Chadhi Chale, एक बंधे जंजीर, दुर्लभ को न सताइए, जाकी मोती हाय, बिना जीव ही सांस से लोहा भस्म हो जाए. Kabir Das said that however rich we were born, however poor, we all go the same way. Once we have come, we will leave. And this is the fact of life, it's the nature. Bhagavan Krishna says so. So again, Shiva lived his life fully, lived a great life. He accomplished everything. And I think he's on his way now. So what we'll do now, firstly I'll ask Cindy to, do the worship, and then the young men will go. After which, people who want to bring flowers come, and then the body will leave. So, Bhaiji, Bhajan, come Cindy.
बहुत दिनों के साथ लिया जुदा होंगे, गुमशुद आखिरियों में आंसू आ रहे. आज सुनो हम गीत विदाता गा रहे, बिछड़े जा रहे. आज सुनो हम गीत विदाता गा रहे, दो दुखियारी पंछी बिछड़े जा रहे. अलग अलग राहों पर चलते दो प्राणी, निरद जगत में इन पैरी नहीं जानी. आज पुरानी रहा रहे, दो दुखियारी पंछी विचरे जा रहे। आज सुनो हम गीत विदाता गा रहे, दो दुखियारी पंछी विचरे जा रहे। कोई मत पूछो कौन हिया रोते हैं, इस जग में ऐसी अभिदात होते हैं। लूट गई पर दिल के चिन्ह छुपा रहे, दो दुखियारी पंछी विचरे जा रहे। आज सुनो हम गीत विदाता गा रहे, दो दुखियारी पंछी विचरे जा रहे। बहुत दिनों के साथ लिया जुदा होंगे, गमशुद आकरियों में आंसू आ रहे। आज सुनो हम गीत विदाता गा रहे, दो दुखियारी पंछी विचरे जा रहे, दो दुखियारी पंछी विचरे जा रहे, दो दुखियारी पंछी विचरे जा रहे। जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। को भिक अमृत कर दे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भिक अमृत कर दे। पूरन कर दे सबकी आशा, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तेरा दर्शन हो मैं तरस रहा, तेरा नाम की माला जपत रहो। तेरा दर्शन हो मैं तरस रहा, तेरा नाम की माला जपत रहो। भव सागर से मोरी नैया, भव सागर से मोरी नैया। जन में नया किनारा हो, जन में नया किनारा हो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे।
Come back on this idea again, yeah. Devotees, the rituals are finished as such. What we'll do now, we'll say closing prayer, closing mantra, and those who want to come and look. Go ahead, do it now. No one time, right? Okay. Do it together with Aditya. Do it one time together, right? Yeah. Let's give it the art. Yeah. Flowers and harati. And when they finish, those of you who want to offer flowers on the way out, do so, and then we'll leave because we need to keep the time. Okay? So. Just let them do it first, and then the rest will do. Come, let's. Go on. Om Sajan Chamati Sanyuktam Vahinurtama Dipanagrihan Devese Om Agnara Jyotiramastute Om Atma Shanti. Okay, they do all after. But it nice. That's okay. Aditya, just do arti, offer the flowers, and let's move on. Just do yeah, sir. All right. Kalika, put it on, let's, all right, okay. The rest will put when we get enough, right? The flowers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
when we,
yeah.
right? So, that's people usually should we have, right? Yeah. Okay, that's it there. Let's all please stand. We'll have the closing prayer, and as I said, those who want to offer flowers after will offer the flowers in the coffin before we go forward. Let's put our hands together, let us pray, let us focus on Divine Lord again praying, and let us chant together the mantra, Trambaka mantra. ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्ष्यामामृतात् 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 ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पापहं पापकर्माहं पाप आत्मा पापसंभव त्राहिणां पुण्डरीकाक्ष सर्वभरोहरि ॐ मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं तदस्तु मे त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव Divine Father, you all know and you all love Him. We commend Shiva's soul to you. Please keep your merciful grace and protection as us continue this journey. Om Atma Shanti, Om Atma Shanti, Om Atma Shanti, Om Atma Shanti, Om Atma Shanti. Mercy Sat Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai. Devotees, those of you who want to come and offer flowers may do so, and we will leave shortly.
पर झुके उपकार करे तोए, पर झुके उपकार करे तोए, मन अभिमानी ना आनी रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जानी रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जानी रे। पर धुके उपकार करे तोए, पर धुके उपकार करे तोए, मन अभिमानी नानी रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जानी रे। सकल लोक माँ सहुने वन्ने, निंदा न करे के नीरे। वाच काच मन निश्चल राखी वाच काच मन निश्चल राखी धन धन जननी तेरी रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जानी रे समदृष्टि ने तृष्णा त्यागी परिश्री जेने मात रे जीवात की असत्य न बोले जीवात की असत्य न बोले पर धन नव धने हाथ रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जानी रे मोह माया व्यापे नहीं जेने त्रिद वैराग्य जिना मन मारे राम नाम सुकाले लागे राम नाम सुकाले लागे सकल त्रिनयन तेना मन मारे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जानी रे वन लोभी ने कपट रहित जे काम क्रोध द्रिव माया रे बने नर सयो तेरो दर्शन करता बने नर सयो तेरो दर्शन करता कुंदेंदो तेरो तायो रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जानी रे पर दुख के उपकार करे तोए पर दुख के उपकार करे तोए मन अभिमानी नानी रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जाने रे पीर पराई जाने रे पीर पराई जानी रे To all those who did not see the body as yet, may you please come and see the body. अम्बा भवानी माँ, अम्बा भवानी माँ, जय जय देवी अम्बा भवानी माँ, जय जय देवी अम्बा भवानी माँ, अम्बा भवानी माँ, अम्बा भवानी माँ, जय जय देवी अम्बा भवानी माँ, जय जय देवी अम्बा भवानी माँ। हाथ जोड़ कर तेरे चरणों में ले लो मेरा सनाम। हाथ जोड़ कर तेरे चरणों में ले लो मेरा सनाम, ले लो मेरा सनाम। जय जगदीश्वरी त्रिशूलधारिणी माँ, जय जगदीश्वरी त्रिशूलधारिणी माँ, त्रिशूलधारिणी माँ, त्रिशूलधारिणी माँ, जय जय देवी अम्बा भवानी माँ, जय जय देवी अम्बा भवानी माँ। करुणा सागर सुनो मेरी पूजा, ले लो मेरा प्रणाम। करुणा सागर सुनो मेरे पूजा, ले लो मेरा प्रणाम, ले लो मेरा प्रणाम। जग दुख हारिणी जय जग जननी माँ, जग दुख हारिणी जय जग जननी माँ, जय जग जननी माँ, जय जग जननी माँ, जय जय देवी अम्बा भवानी माँ, जय जय देवी जय वीर हनुमान जनेय हनुमान, 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 जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर, रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा, महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, सुमति निवार सुमति के संगी, कंचन वरन विराज सुवेशा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा, हाथ प्रज्वल ध्वजा विराजे, कान्हे मूंज जनेऊ साजे, शंकर सुमन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन, विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर, प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, कनसी कामन बसिया, सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे, लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर